Bethany Manctalo here. Welcome to our Millwall Fans Show with some new voices, but the same focus. Just everything Millwall. Enjoy!
Welcome to the 2025-26 season of Millwall No One Likes Us Talkin's Our Millwall Fans Show. I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and I'm excited to be here with the fantastic No One Likes Us Talking team. Hello, Andy Pettman.
Hello, Eamonn.
And hello, Ted Robinson.
Evening, Eamonn.
And hello, Dave Hart.
Evening, Eamonn.
Lovely to have you all here with me.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
Well, we came through the international break well, securing a win at Loftus Road and a dominant victory over Stoke at the Den, with a commanding display both up front and at the back. We have a top-flight guest with us tonight who is a familiar face around the Den, and there are plenty of Millwall matters to discuss. But before I pause to hear about our sponsors, I've got a message from one of our people.
Hi, it's Mia Lockett of Millwall Lionesses. We need as many fans to come down to St Paul's Sports Ground, Rotherhithe, this Sunday to get behind us as we face Cheltenham Town with a place in the next round of the Women's FA Cup at stake. Kick-off is at 2 p.m. and we want a full house behind us. See you there.
Yeah, we'll have to go down there and see them playing that game. They're in with a chance. Anyhow, G&M Motors.
Hi, this is Jess Tuffield from G&M Motors. Operating from a modern and purpose-built facility in Milton Road, Gravesend, G&M Motors offers a complete range of new Honda cars and services. As well as new Hondas, we have an extensive range of used cars, including ex-Motability cars from a variety of manufacturers. Specialising in new Honda cars, G&M Motors has been retailing quality new and used vehicles to the people of Kent and South East London for over 4 decades. We have been a Honda dealership since 1972 and are the country's longest serving supplier of this renowned marque. Conveniently sited just 2 miles from the A2, 10 miles from the M25 and Dartford Crossing, visitors to our showroom are assured a warm welcome from our experienced and friendly staff. Our facilities include an on-site workshop capable of providing full vehicle servicing and repairs, as well as an extensive parts department offering genuine Honda parts and accessories. The expertise of our skilled mechanics is not limited to just Hondas, but extends to most makes and models of motor vehicles. Whatever your motoring needs, visit us at G&M Motors today. The newly extended hours of our G&M headquarters means that you can contact us from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturdays. To contact us, call us today on 01474 365 026.
Thank you, Jess. Debbie Julian's here. Don't forget to call Jess on 01474 81 3562. G&M Motors have been dear friends with the Julians family for over 4 decades now. From my dad Lenny to me, Debbie, Lions together.
I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Ted Robinson, Andy Pettman and Dave Hart. Many thanks to our sponsors, G&M Motors. Why not take a moment to explore the range of Hondas and see all the other great options available at the Gravesend site. You might find something just perfect for you. Our first guest is a former Lion who played as a midfielder. He's a proud local and began his football journey as an apprentice at Arsenal. Though he faced some challenges in breaking into the Gunners' first team, his passion for the game took him to various clubs, and the best club that he ever come to was when he joined Millwall in July 1987. Trips to Bradford City followed in January 1991. He also enjoyed playing in Scotland for Airdrieonians and in non-league football for the not too far away Dulwich Hamlet. Well, we're excited to welcome him. Hello, Wesley Reid.
Thank you, Eamonn. It's very kind. Hello, everyone. I'm really pleased to be here. I'm very grateful.
Evening, Wes.
Good evening.
Hello, Wes.
We've all said hello to you, Wes, and that was really wonderful. But it is great to have you back again.
Thank you.
you are such a familiar figure on match days alongside your lounge buddy, Brian Horn.
Yep.
What would you say to fans? How would you sell the new lounges to fans?
Depending what the fans' point of view is, from my perspective, there's two ways to look at it. We did need the lounges upgrading, to attract new people. It was great. We had our old regulars come in regularly, but to have an injection of new people come in, week out, your facilities need to be top class, really. And by having that as we've got now, over the past 4 or 5 games, a lot of people who have came, I've never seen before. And when I speak to them, they tell me, we've heard about the lounges and how good it is, so we've come. So we've got this injection of new people coming, which brings new money into the club. And it just helps us on the snowball effect. It trickles up to the manager eventually for his budget for the squad. For the ones who liked it the way it was, I do see it. It had a great atmosphere. It was what you would call a Millwall lounge. But if we're going to go forward and compete with others and have people come through the door, we needed to upgrade the lounge. And the facilities are first class.
They are. As I was there with the likes of Katie Chapman, Mr. Bremner himself, old Jamie Morley, and they were all really struck by the changes that they saw there, and it looked brilliant. And they enjoyed the food as well, so something's right.
Yeah, that's the main thing. A lot of people, a lot of it can be corporate at times, Eamonn, so the people who come through the door may not necessarily be Millwall supporters.
Yeah.
But if they enjoy the surroundings, the food and that, then it's still a positive for us. It's still a positive. You can be a Chelsea fan. There was a Sheffield United fan there on Tuesday. I was speaking to him. Absolutely loved it. He'll be coming back, he said, with his son.
Yeah, well, after our Sheffield United playing that, I can understand it. Wes.
Yeah, exactly.
Over to you, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
How are you, Wes? I seem to remember you telling us post your footballing days that you represented England at tournaments in Asia.
Yes.
Can you remind us what you did there, and are you still involved in that competition?
There's something called the Senior World Cup, which is held out in Thailand, and it originally stemmed from when there was the earthquakes and tsunamis in Thailand, so there was a lot of devastation and that. And the idea was to bring a tournament of football so the local region could have an influx of people that would inject money into the area. And that was in about 2006, I think. I went in 2019, and basically it's actually a really well-organised tournament. Some great teams. I'm not still involved, but I still look at Barry Howes, ex-Millwall. He goes still. He went this year. The lineup for this year was the USA, Iran, Thailand, England, Australia, New Zealand, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Paraguay, and Uruguay. So they were the teams out playing for it this year, and once again, England managed to win it. Which was another great feat. And it just brings local tourism to the areas that are out there. And a lot of the money donated goes towards school children, helping with books and equipment for them in whichever schools are designated seem to be fit to receive the money.
That sounds a great competition to be involved with. It was a real shame to see that the dock passed last season.
Yeah.
And what a turnout by you and your teammates in memory of that man who took us up to the top flight.
Yeah.
Do you have any fond memories of the dock and you'd like to share with us?
Yeah. There are so many, but what always sticks in my mind, whether I'm with the lads or I'm on my own, and just you saying it now reminds me, if you remember the old den, around the pitch when we did training, we would have to run around the pitch itself, and Doc would be in the dugouts, and you'd have your terrier locks, your Alan Walker's, the older sort of players.
Yeah.
As we're running round, we perfected this sort of image of us really pumping our arms and pumping our legs as we ran past Doc. So it looked like we was really running fast. And when we got to the bottom corner, about 50 yards away, Terry Erlock would shout, "All right, slow down now, boys. He can't see and tell." Because back then you didn't have GPS vests. You know, Doc would just be looking at you and gauging how fast your arms and legs were moving. And we did that. I mean, I was at the club for years. We did that for probably most of the time I was there. And then when Doc left, I was at Bradford. We had a conversation once in his room and we were talking about Millwall and etc. And he turns around to me and he says, "You know what? I'm going to let you know so you can tell the others. I always knew you lot were cheating me. That's why I never gave you many days off." that was just typical Doc. Us lot thinking we had one over him, and he was like, "Oh, you run really well there, lads. Good, well done." But the man was a legend to a lot of people. He really was. He was a father figure to us. He really, more than just a football manager, he was someone that he really looked after you. I don't know. It's hard to quantify in words, but when I hear that man's name, it just brings a lump to my throat.
Yeah, as fans, I totally agree with you there.
Yeah. So sad that he passed. So sad. But you know,
Absolutely.
he's left a wonderful legacy for us. Hopefully, there will be someone in future that, hopefully in the near future, that will, you know, be on the same pedestal as him and get us to the considered holy grail. But what Doc did for us in that 2 years, wow, incredible. And it stands the test of time. It's not happened since.
No.
Hi, Wes. This is Andy.
Hello, Andy. How are you doing?
Hiya. Good, thanks. Beyond Brian Horn, how often do you still stay in touch with your former teammates from that day?
Oh, well, we're on, literally every day, really. And I mean, literally every day. We're on a WhatsApp group. We have been for 4 years. There's about, from memory, there's about 22 of us, from Keith Stevens in Australia, Teddy, me, Sean Sparham, Brian Horn, Alan McCleary, Alan Walker, Ian Dawes, David Thompson, Steve Antrobus, Alan Dowson, Neil Ruddock, George Lawrence. We're all on the WhatsApp, and between conversations that go on, you probably see about 15 to 20 notifications a day from different people talking about different things. So, yeah, we keep in regular contact, which is why we had such a great turnout for Doc. It wasn't something difficult to say, right, lads, we're turning up in November. We're going to celebrate this great man, and you've got to be there. And everyone was there.
Yeah, it was great to see you all down there that day.
Yeah, it was. It was great to be there as well.
When you then signed for Bradford, was it the Doc who took you there at the time?
Yes, it was, because about the time 1990, I'd had a bad knee, and the surgeons at the time were telling me to retire. And back then, I don't know if it's the same still, but if you saw 3 surgeons and they all confirmed that you needed to retire, then you could be retired. I'd seen 2, and they said to me, well, it's not going to get any better, etc., etc. And when Doc took over at Bradford, he found out there was this well-known surgeon in Leeds General Hospital that did operations which was similar to what I needed. So he said, look, come. If the gentleman can fix your leg, then fine. If he can't, you give it a good try. And I did. I signed up for Bradford, and the gentleman managed to get an extra 4-5 years playing out of me. So I was also very grateful for Doc for that as well. Really grateful. Reintegrated and re-kicked my football life.
That's great.
Evening, Wes. Ted here.
Ted, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Lovely to hear your voice.
Oh, I don't know about that, mate. There's lots of people that ain't happy to hear my voice. Sitting in the other room, my missus. But anyway, that's another story. Wes, remind us, how did you come to see the light and get signed by the Lions?
Oh, gosh, it was... to cut a long story short, so I'm from Peckham, and I still live in Peckham. I spent most of my life here, except when I played football and moved away. So I was travelling from Peckham to Highbury from about 8 years of age. So I think I first went to Highbury in 76, 77. One of my best mates was called Trevor Booker. He lived in Peckham as well, but he signed for Millwall. So I'd been going from Arsenal from about 76, 77. And obviously George had been the manager at Millwall. And I don't know the full ins and outs of this, but there had been some rumours that some players weren't really adhering to George's standards while at the club, etc. So when George took over at Arsenal, he called me into his office, and I would have been about 17, I think. And he said to me, look, I'd like you to move out of Peckham and move over to this side of London, over to North London. And I had this conversation with George. Look, I live with my mum. My mum hadn't been very well, and I've never been in any trouble. Ask anyone. But George, as you may or may not know, had his own way. He had his way of doing things, which was fair enough. I went and spoke to mum. I said, look, mum, he wants me to move over to North London. And she said, look, if that's what you want to do, do. So I did. I moved over to Diggs, which seems strange considering I lived in Peckham and I was moving to Diggs in North London. But I stayed for a couple of days and I just thought, I can't do this. I want to play football and I want to be a footballer, but I can't leave my mum. That would just be something in my estimation that just wouldn't be right, to leave everything for mum. So the Digs I was staying in, I said to him, look, I'm going back home. And eventually George called me in and said to me, look, you've left the Digs, why? And I explained to him again, my mum's on her own, I'd rather not, I'm quite happy in Peckham, blah, blah. And he said, you're either going to do it my way or no way. And I got up and I shook his hand and said, I just can't do it your way. And I think that was on a Thursday afternoon. And on the Friday morning, Bob Pearson had found out your registration goes to a central place when you sign for or leave a club. And Bob rang me up the next day and said, look, come and sign for Millwall. So I went and signed for Millwall.
Well, George Graham was looking after Millwall again, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, you know what? Yeah, it was just a strange thing because I know George done really, really well at Millwall, and he's held in high esteem as well. I spoke to George a few times since after this, but he just had his way of doing things, and if you didn't comply, then you was out the door. And fair play to him. He offered me the chance to try again, and I just couldn't leave my mum. So there's no hard feelings.
I'll get what you're saying, Wes. It's your mum comes first without it.
Yeah, because you know what? There was no guarantee that life was going to be however I thought it would have been. No. I could have had a bad injury, fell out of love with it, and I would have left my mum for something that wouldn't have materialised, and she would always be my mum. She'd always be there for me. So I just thought I'd choose her.
My mum couldn't kick me out quick enough, but that's
I'm sure that's not the case.
Wes, gone away. I've recently moved down to Whitstable, but on the last home game, I had the pleasure of coming up on train with a certain Trevor Aylott.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I know he was because he went into the lounge and whatever, and I also came back on the train with him as well. But
right, okay.
In the conversations we was having, I've said many players, and he was one of them, described their Millwall experience, the highlight of their careers, despite, Trevor, oh God, I think he had a list of about 100 different clubs he'd played for.
Yeah.
But he said nothing compared to Millwall. And it's strange how many of you boys say that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. If the 20 names or that I mentioned earlier, that's on the WhatsApp group. If you ask each and every of them who had gone to play on for a wide range of different clubs, sorry, Cascarino and Steve Wood, they're on it as well. They're coming to mind. You think of all the players from that 87 to 90 era that have gone, your Teddies who have gone on to play for your big clubs, United, Tottenham and other established Premiership clubs. We all say, for whatever reason, that Millwall is the one club that sticks in your mind. And when you think of your time during your Millwall days, it just brings pleasurable thoughts. The whole environment, the players who you played with, the club itself, Doc, etc., people who worked at the club. It just brings a sort of a utopia type feeling. You just feel, wow, that was the pinnacle of any football career I could have. You know,
See,
it was the pinnacle.
Us fans, Wes, we like to think it's because of the wonderful names we call you while you're playing on the Saturday. But I understand what you're saying.
You know, even like you say, whether it's good or bad encouragement, it just, I think one of the words that sticks to mind, it was just real. It was a time in life that was real. You know, you was out there, you were playing football, you knew you were working for a set of fans that appreciated it. And if you did well, you were entitled to get the plaudits. And if you didn't do so well, you were also entitled to receive the negative feedback. And you were pleased with that. You know, you took that on the chin, and you just felt that it was a time in my life personally, and I know the others feel this way, that it can never be replicated. I don't know why, because I'm a local lad, and a lot of them aren't local, but they still feel the same.
Yeah, I always feel a bit sorry for Millwall fans, because sometimes, unfortunately, our encouragement is mistaken for abuse, and it's never really meant to come out like that.
No. not often. Not often. Especially the last few games, it's been really good encouragement.
Oh yeah, yes, it's brilliant. What do you reckon of the side at the moment, Wes?
Wow.
Because I think sorry, mate. I think we got Dr. Who, you know, in Alex Neil. I think we've got someone that could actually get us to where we want to go.
Yeah. Well, I did Millwall's pre-season camp out in Spain, so I looked after them for a week out in La Torre, and it just meant that I was involved in, you know, everything they wanted, making sure they had everything they needed at the training ground, things they needed, etc. And I spent a bit of time talking with Alex and watching him, and I was just so impressed. I was just so impressed by his methodical pinpoint. Everything had to be a certain way. And as a player, trying to put an ex-player's head on, you look at that, and there's no doubt from the players what is required of them and what is needed. And then you can gauge how well you are doing. As opposed to a manager saying, sorry, just go out and play. That's quite vague to a player, because you can try and beat four men, lose the ball and walk. But Alex has got it so everyone knows exactly what they're doing. I suppose all managers have that, but his in-depth knowledge really impressed me. Really, really impressed me. I remember telling my mates when I came back, we're going to do so well if we just keep pushing on and keep pushing on. I do think he will, if there's going to be a manager, get us to the Premiership.
Well, that's nice to hear, Luke.
I do. Honestly, I really, really do. The man's methodical, and he's so tactically, he's spot on. He's spot on.
But there is another side of your Millwall story that I want to expose. I saw you at the Lions Centre. I remember you was there with the old Gianluca event, and he'll be a partner and that. And I'm sure you've been involved in other things.
Yeah.
You are a great supporter, so Sean Daly tells me. But what
I try to be.
Do you have?
It actually stems from when I was at the club. Because I was injured and I had quite a few operations and I was out a lot, I did a lot of work for a gentleman called Gary Stemple, who was the equivalent to Sean Daly is now in the community. And that was before, you know, we were, quote, a fashionable club. You know, the name Millwall in the late 80s, early 90s, unfortunately put terror into people as opposed to welcoming arms. So there was the big initiative about going in schools and doing coaching. And because I had a lot of spare time being injured, I put myself forward for that. And I really enjoyed it. I was able to help within my own community. As I said, I live locally. So it just makes sense that I support the community that I live in, you know, and things that happen in the community scheme, if I can help Sean in any sort of way, I'm initially always 100% up for it.
That's great. That's great. Good to see. Those from the past coming forward to support those now. Yourself, Les is another one.
Les is a good
Kingy as well.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you know what? A lot of us who have received not only over the years finance through playing for the club or working at the club, but also received the warmth from people around the club within the community, you know, their adulation, etc. So the minimum you can do is give something back, you know, and if the only thing you can give is time, then so be it.
Yeah, it's brilliant stuff. Well done, mate. Well done. I'm going to hand you back to Ted now because he's feeling that he needs to speak to you yet again.
And I'm happy to speak to Ted again.
Oh, good, Wes. Right, Wes, I don't know if you know, but we do what is called Ted's Prediction League, which means the guests have got to predict 3 games from this coming week's championship fixtures.
Right.
So this week, Wes, I've picked out, obviously, our beloved Lions first at home to Leicester. So what do you reckon the score is going to be with that game, Wes?
I think hopefully we're going to keep the goal scoring run going, but I do also think that Leicester have a goal in them. So I'm going to go 2-1 Millwall.
Do you know what? Where's great minds think alike? Because that's what I think.
Good. All right.
And I'm not so sure about it because after the results the other night, I've gone a different way. But anyway, it's Ipswich, who have been pretty disappointing this year, at home to West Brom, who haven't been exactly ripping things up. But Ipswich versus West Brom, Wes.
I see both teams not wanting to lose, so a bit of a tentative game. I've gone for a draw, or maybe a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw, yeah. And the last one it intrigues me a little bit because I couldn't work out whether Stoke were that bad or we was that good like the other night. Well, I just assumed that we were that good because Stoke are right up there.
Yeah.
So, but I've gone with Portsmouth, who I think are always a bit of a different proposition at home to Stoke. How do you see that one going, please?
I see, similar to how I think we'll be Leicester, I see a 2-1 to Portsmouth.
2-1 to Portsmouth. Do you know what, Wes? I think me and you are using the same brain because I think...
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Wes. Thanks for that.
You're only both operating on 50 watts. Never mind.
Yeah.
That's great. Look, Wes, great for those predictions.
Thank you.
There's a chance you could win a prize.
Wow.
If Ted comes back to you, then you'll know. But
all right, then.
In the meantime, we appreciate you joining us, Wesley. We wish you and yours all the best, and bye for now. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you, Eamon. Thanks, Ted, Dave, Andy. All take care.
Yeah, cheers, Wes.
Thanks, Wes. Bye.
Thanks, Wes.
Thank you.
Well, that was Wes Reid. What a lovely bloke he is, and undoubtedly someone that loves Millwall from the day he walked through the door. But here's Mia, who loves Millwall too.
Hi, it's Mia Lockett of Millwall Lionesses. We need as many fans to come down to St Paul's Sports Ground, Rotherhithe, this Sunday to get behind us as we face Cheltenham Town with a place in the next round of the Women's FA Cup at stake. Kick-off is at 2 p.m. and we want a full house behind us. See you there.
Yeah, we'll see you there. But in the meantime, we'll take a break and hear from Harvey Brown.
Hi, Harvey Brown here. I am proud of the Lions Food Hub, which is jointly owned by Kelly and Ellen Webster, and they have been supporting families within our community for over 2 years on Millwall match days. If you would like to donate to them, they have a match day donation hub by the SE16 bar at Colblow Lane, end of the ground, where they accept any food or money and toiletry donations. If you can help, any donations will be received with thanks.
I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team, Ted Robinson, Dave Hart and Andy Pettman. If you're attending the Den during the week, then visit the Lions Centre where you can make your donations. And it's just good to point out that the Lions Food Hub is supporting 70 families at this moment in time. Many will be aware that Ellis Barr underwent an operation to improve her mobility. If you've been on social media today, you would have seen a new video featuring Ellis, and she's progressing well. She's continued to improve, and No One Likes Us Talking team, Millwall Lionesses, Romans and Pride, and many of our listeners wish you the best for your continuing recovery, Ellis. Anyhow, here is Ellis.
Hello, Ellis here, and I'm glad to be back talking about Millwall. I know many have watched my videos. Thanks for your support along the way. It is now time to hear what all the Millwall teams are up to. Come on, Millwall!
Yep, come on, Millwall, and carry on as well as you've been doing, Ellis. It's great to see the improvement. Paul Loding, who's in Hawaii at the moment, send us this report on the Millwall Romans and Pride's update.
Hi, it's Paul Loding at the Millwall Romans with a quick update for the week. So after last week's iconic game, which saw the Romans play Man versus Fat, we've obviously been good friends with these guys for about 5 years now. They've always been challenging us for a game, and I'm pleased to say that that the Romans took the game 5-2 against Man versus Fat. It was quite a feisty one, so I understand. But yeah, that was an iconic occasion for us. This weekend, we've entered this year the GFSN Shield, led by Pete DeRusso. He's heading up the team on Saturday this week as we head to Bristol to play our first away game of the season in the GFSN Shield. That's a Saturday, so against Bristol away. And predictions this week, Millwall-Leicester. Millwall, cracking results for them at the moment. They're going to stuff Leicester 3-0. Ipswich versus West Brom. I think that's going to be 1-1. And Portsmouth versus Stoke, 1-0 to Portsmouth.
Well, that's all good news as well, Paul. And enjoy yourself in Hawaii until you return. Anyway, the Lionesses hosted Ashford Town in league action last Sunday, and Millwall Community Trust Kai Bennett shares the story for Maritime Radio.
It's Kai Bennett reporting for Maritime Radio. Millwall Lionesses made it 4 wins in a row as they beat Ashford Town 6-0 at St Paul's Sports Ground on Sunday. The first goal came after just 41 seconds. Elsa Ajupi broke away down the left-hand side before putting the ball in the box, with the Ashford Town defender turning it home from close range. The second goal came just after half hour. Elsa again running down the wing before she put the ball into the box for Mia Lockett to calmly finish to make it 2-0 after 32 minutes. The third goal came just before the break. Kenita Throp with a lovely bit of skill. After putting the ball in the box, Kayla Townsend headed home to make it 3 for the break. It was 4 just after the restart, Elsa finally getting her goal to make it 6 in 3 games against their opponents. Kenita Throp made it 5, then 6. The first goal, a nice finish into the bottom right-hand corner before a lovely goal for the 6th. She got the ball on the edge of the box before firing it into the top right-hand corner. Ted Jones's side ran out 6-0 winners. The next up for Ted Jones's side is the big FA Cup game, first round of the FA Cup this Sunday at St Paul's Sports Ground, 2 p.m. against Cheltenham Town. They need your support.
Yeah, that was a good result there, Kai. They put 6 past Ashford Town. This is a team that dropped from the league above them. I hope it bodes well for that match against
Cheltenham Town.
Is it? Oh, it's where you go from watch the Orchards, isn't it, Ted?
That's it, mate. Yeah,
that's it. I couldn't get over the fence on that one. Never mind. That's life, isn't it? Right. So keep up their winning streak. This Sunday then at St Paul's Sports Ground, Rotherham against Cheltenham Town, as it says, in the first round proper of the Women's FA Cup. Let's be hopeful. Anyhow, when Saturday arrived, we travelled to Queen's Park Rangers to face the Hoops on a day dedicated to celebrating the life of former QPR and Millwall manager, the late Gordon Jago. Wreaths were placed in the centre circle by both teams. Millwall board member Trevor Keys placed our wreath ahead of the kick-off. And as I shared an event with him at the game against Stoke, I said to him, "You've done that very well, Trevor." He said, "Oh, you noticed I was there?" I said, "Yes, you were carrying the wreath." "Oh," he said, "yes, that's right." Anyway, now for something new. What we're going to do is we're going to have a talk about that game. And I've got a question for each one of you to answer. It's a different question to each of you, but I'll start off with Ted. And Ted, last week you were on the show, and I recollect me saying that a couple of teams had, I suppose, held Queen's Park Rangers back by plugging their defence extremely well and holding them off. And they both got draws out of it. Do you think that's what we set off with Alex on Saturday?
I think if you anyone that was at the game and see the game, you could see that QPR were obviously on a good run of form. They're not a bad side, not a poor side at all. But we've got a very good back four. Kramer's been an absolute revelation to me. He was good last season as a right back, but he's certainly an even better centre half to me. And he's a perfect foil for Cooper because Coops he's not the quickest on 2 feet, and I think Kramer covers the ground pretty quickly. But with the old heads of Cooper and Leonard, with Kramer and young Zach Sturge there, I think we've got a very good back four. I felt so sorry for Alongo, though, Eamonn, when he got injured, because he was the guy that was sitting in front and picking up all the pieces and making it difficult. And with Billy Mitchell, who has also been a revelation this season to me, with his energy and also his passing. It was. I think there probably was a tactic there to try and sit and hit them on the break.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I don't think we played our best football, but it showed exactly what we are at this moment in time, which is a very difficult side to beat, who are now getting that bit more creative up the other end of the pitch than what they was last season, I believe, with fingers crossed that we can keep Aziz and both him and Ballo fit, because they both give us that width. And thankfully Ivanovic got off the mark, and hopefully he goes on a goal scoring run. But I think, coming back to the question, which was about whether we sat, as Wes just mentioned, I think Alex Neil does his own work on teams as well, because there was a lot of man-for-man marking going on, and I think there was a definite emphasis on stopping them from playing through the middle, if you like. So, which it was a 2-1 win that should have been perhaps a bit easier than 2-1, but we'll always take that, wouldn't we? It was a good battling performance. And a little quick mention to the goalkeeper, who made an outstanding save in the first minute of the game, which, we could have made a complete difference if that had gone in. So, quick mention there as we were talking about the back four.
Yeah, we'll have a chat about goalkeepers when we review the Stoke game. But, Dave, for you, who was the, I suppose, dynamo that was directing that game?
Well, it's difficult to actually point out a controller, a midfield dynamo. There was a lot of different people affecting the game. Aziz on the wing was a pain for their defence, and Billy Mitchell to me was an absolute gem. He's picking up players with long balls and was absolutely wonderful. So for someone of his age, he's actually grown in stature, in my view, and is becoming a really good player. And I think he could be the one that could be that player moving on.
Yeah, I think he's got an opportunity to do that. There's no doubt about it. So Aziz was, basically looking as if he was on fire. There wasn't probably any way to describe that. But how do you see the rise, or the return rather, Andy, of our man Ivanovic?
I thought that was the first game he started looking like his old self, wasn't it? Really. It was great to see him pop up with a goal, but he's working hard as well. The goals haven't come yet, but he's you see he's putting in the effort. Yeah,
so he's trying and he's moving, and he managed to get that, I suppose, goal that all strikers want to get, and tuck it in with his head as it bounced through to him in the clear space of the goalkeeper and into the net. Right, so Tuesday, buoyed by that win at Loftus Road, we faced another high-flying team that occupied a championship slot above us, Stoke City, down at the Den. All of us on the show last week said, yeah, it was going to be a win for Millwall. Ted, did you think it was going to be as easy as it really panned out?
I think, Eamonn, as I said to Wes earlier regarding Stoke, I see an interview with Mark Robbins afterwards, and as any manager is, I suppose, he was berating his side about how they played and what they didn't do and whatever. But I've got to say, that first half against Stoke for me is the best I've seen Millwall play for quite some time. And it was no surprise, I suppose, that mainly the threat was coming from either wing with Ballo, who I thought was absolutely on fire. And I heard that they gave man of the match to Aziz, but who was good. But I thought Ballo, he's been decent in the game so far, but I thought he was exceptional against Stoke. The fullback on Stoke, he didn't know where he was. But I thought that first half, as a complete performance, was exceptional. And you have to take into account, Eamonn, that we started that game with a completely new midfield compared to the Loftus Road game, with Billy being ill with sickness and poor Massimo, unfortunately, out for the rest of the season with an ACL now.
Yeah.
In came Casper, who came on at Loftus, but run out of steam, shall we say, and somehow managed to keep going in the full game at Stoke, or more or less to the right to the end. And the young French lad, Del Boy, is a revelation to me. He looks like he's been a championship player for years.
Yeah.
So it all bodes well. But I thought all round as a team performance, the Stoke first 45 minutes is their best of the season so far. It wasn't bad second half, but they was just exceptional first.
Well, I'll let you know that Kevin Bremner said if he'd have been playing, we would have put 6 past Stoke, and we had the opportunities, and he pointed them out to me every time. So there's got to be some improvement if Kevin can pick out that sort of situation. So let's hope Kevin gets his message over to his fellow Scotsman, Alex, and they do better next time.
I should imagine he will get his message over.
Yeah. Dave,
yes.
The time, I suppose, is interesting because this was the second game that we've had young Mr. Crocombe, well, not young Mr. Crocombe, the older goalkeeper of the two, Mr. Crocombe, in goal for us. If you was comparing, contrasting Crocombe and Bender, what would you say are the best bits from each and perhaps the not so best bits from each?
Well, personally, it's just my view. I think that Crocombe is a better goalkeeper than Bender. I know he's older, but he seems to have a bit more command of his area, and Bender doesn't seem to do that. I get very nervous when we're on our back foot and balls are coming into the area that there's going to be some sort of slip, or so it is a bit of a contrast between the two. But what I had to mention about the game on Tuesday night was that Cooper was an absolute general in defence. He had the back four and the defence fully on it for the whole of the game, and was out of the back four. He was the man that stood out above the rest. So it was good to see that confidence in our defence was visible. So, yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay. Where would you say we needed to improve over those two games, Andy?
It feels a bit harsh, after the way we've improved, it's Tuesday from Saturday. But back to Ivanovic, I think it'd be good to have some goals from strikers. I think now we've got the wingers, it's looking good, putting the balls in. And, if I'm a little bit greedy, some goals from midfield running into it.
Yeah. So you're definitely in the old Bremner camp, no doubt about that one. Well, let's see what happens when Saturday comes to the Den, and when we host Leicester City. Well, they have yo-yoed for a few seasons between the Championship and the Premier League. They're not performing as anticipated. They have drawn 4 of their last 6 games, recorded 1 win at Swansea and suffered a loss at Hull. We have won 4 of our previous 6, drawn at Swansea and lost severely at home by 4 goals to Coventry, who are at the top of the league, mind you. Our injuries are mounting again, but do we have enough strength in depth to make it 4 wins on the spin? The bookies have Leicester at 8-5 to win, a draw at 9-4 and a Millwall win at 7-5. Tight odds, tight game. What do you reckon, team? Ted, over to you. And don't keep it too long.
No, I reckon that it says it all there in the statistics that they're not an easy side to beat, Leicester, but then they haven't been winning many. And they lost that Hull the other night. But, it's Leicester, and they're still a big name in this division, and that's when Millwall come to the fore normally. I mean, I've got my fingers crossed as I'm saying that, as I don't want to put the mocks on them. But I do fancy us if we can play anything like we did against Stoke, and I've gone for a 2-1 win for the Lions, yeah.
Great stuff. Dave?
As Ted said, Leicester, a top team. They won the Premier League at some point, so they're not to be sniffed at. But when you drop down into the Championship, it's a different ball of wax. It's a different game. So it's going to be tight, but I think, as Ted said, it'll be a 2-1 win.
2-1 win. Okay. How about you, Andy?
I fancy us for another home win at the moment. I think we've been improving, the last 3 games. We've been improving with every one. So I fancy us for a 2-0 home win.
Well, that's good stuff. And hopefully that's exactly what we'll get. As for me, I've managed to get the predictions from Bethany, who was due to be on the show this evening. But due to not being so well, she sent the predictions to me. And she's gone for a 2-1 win as well. So that's not too bad. So, interesting thoughts. Let's move on and talk about, Ted, what are you going to do and talk about now?
Well, we're going on to the next 2 games for the Prediction League this week. The first one being Ipswich versus West Brom. I, for some reason, unbeknown to myself, have put this down as a 2-0 win to Ipswich. But having said that, they lost 3-0 to Charlton the other night. They might come out with a bit more fire in their belly on Saturday. So what do you reckon, Andy?
I've got a tight game for this one. I've got a 1-1 for that.
Yeah, I think that's a bit more sensible, Andy, if I'm honest. Dave, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think Ipswich will have a bit of a headache after the defeat by Charlton. And West Brom, they need to get a win, so I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to West Brom.
2-1 West Brom from Dave. And what about Bethany, Eamonn?
She scored it as 1-1. She's
gone 1-1. Okay. Moving on, final game, and it's Portsmouth against Stoke. And having seen Stoke the other day, I won't be at all surprised if they do have a reaction. But Portsmouth are quite tricky at home, so I've gone for a 1-1 draw. What do you reckon, Andy?
I've gone for an away win, 2-1 Stoke. I reckon Stoke are going to really bounce back after Tuesday night.
Again, a very good prediction. Now, if I hadn't done my predictions before the other night, I think I'd have gone like that. But anyway, my fault. Dave, what do you reckon?
Well, after seeing Stoke in the week, I think they're going to get a 1-0 win at Portsmouth.
1-0 win, right? And finally, Bethany, Eamonn?
Yeah, Bethany said 2-2.
2-2 with Bethany.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
So that's all the predictions done. So we also have a prediction from Nick Wythe, Ted's best mate, of the Facebook Millwall Sicily site. Let's hear what Nick predicted.
Hello, these are my predictions. Millwall 1, Leicester 1, Ipswich 2, West Brom 1, and Portsmouth 1, Stoke 0. Thanks.
Well, thanks, Nick. You put the cat amongst the pigeons there with some of those predictions. Anyway, we must thank Dave Hart, who collates the results and produces the table. But before we hear from Bethany Warren, we'll listen to this young lady.
Hi, it's Mia Lockett of Millwall Lionesses. We need as many fans to come down to St Paul's Sports Ground, Rotherhithe, this Sunday to get behind us as we face Cheltenham Town with a place in the next round of the Women's FA Cup at stake. Kick-off is at 2 p.m. and we want a full house behind us. See you there.
See you there.
The Millwall Community Trust runs over 100 football multi-sports courses, run during every school holiday and vary from a week to 3 days and even 1 day. The day runs from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and is open to boys and girls for all abilities aged 5 to 13. Check out the Millwall Community Trust website.
I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team, Ted Robinson, Dave Hart and Andy Pettman. By making use of the Lions Centre, you'll be supporting our Millwall Community Trust in delivering enriching programmes to people of all ages in our community. We're all looking forward to the next game, but in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans and those interested in football.
Did you know that Millwall Community Trust has wonderful mentors who create a warm and safe place for young people? They encourage open expression and make sure everyone feels comfortable when attending sessions. Free from judgment or worry, through the Premier League Kicks programme, MCT mentors provide caring one-to-one mentoring to help young people navigate challenges like bullying, boost their mental well-being and reduce risky behaviours and anger issues. Among many other ways, they support youth. Feel free to reach out to our Millwall Community Trust for more information.
Please note there won't be a show next Friday. Instead, we're excited to return to Maritime Radio on 96.5 FM. We're really looking forward to our special Maritime show the following Saturday, which will be even more exciting with Dean Wilson joining us again to replace Jeff Burnage. Patricia Maslin and George Lampy will also be on the panel, and Eamonn will be hosting. We can't wait to talk to you from the Shrewsbury House studios at 8 p.m. Saturday week on 96.5 FM or through the Maritime Radio website.
As our wonderful colleague and lioness has been saying throughout the show, the Millwall Lionesses are hosting Cheltenham Town at St Paul's Sports Ground, Rotherhithe, on Sunday with a 2 p.m. kick-off. If you're able to join us, our Lionesses would genuinely be grateful for the outstanding support. Both teams will be eager to advance to the second round of the Women's FA Cup. And with the backing of a partisan crowd, the Lionesses game will be played with both passion and pride. Go on, bang a gong and get on and roar the Lionesses to victory.
Yeah, well said, Ted. Tune in to the No One Likes Us Talking team as they deliver reports from our games, home and away, for Lions, Lionesses, Romans and Pride. You'll also get updates on Millwall community topics through Maritime Radio, broadcasting, as we keep saying, on 96.5 FM or on their website. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, Spreaker and all major podcast platforms. Thank you, Dave.
Good evening, Eamonn.
Thank you, Ted.
Cheers, Eamonn.
And thank you, Andy.
Cheers, Eamonn.
And a big thank you to all of you who are listening to us. Tonight we're playing out with the Las Vegas version of Let 'Em Come, created by our own talented Andy Pettman. Finally, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there.
Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em all come down to the den. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, we'll only have to beat 'em again. It's the best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em all come down to the den. It's It's Saturday in Cold Blow Lane. We've all come down to cheer. We've had our jellied eels and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine, our families will bring. And as the Lions run on the pitch, everyone will sing. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em all come down to the den. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, we'll only have to beat 'em again. It's the best team in London, oh, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em all come down to the den. It's Saturday in Cold Blow Lane. We've all come down to cheer. We've had our jellied eels and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine, our families will bring. And as the Lions run on the pitch, everyone will sing. The best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em all come down to the den. Let 'em all come down to the den.
Our Millwall Fans Show is sponsored by G&M Motors of Gravesend, Honda dealers and much more. Thank you.